and welcome back to my channel. So today I am doing a Halloween inspired makeup look, and I'm starting off with just placing PVA glue onto the skin using a Morphe M204 brush and then placing toilet paper on top. Don't worry, this PVA glue won't hurt your face. So with the toilet paper I just took one sheet and then pulled at the edges to make it more jagged, and then placed more PVA glue on top to seal that down. The placement of the cut, or wherever you want to call it, is totally optional. I just like to place mine here because why not? And once you've placed on an even layer of PVA glue, I then went in with a hairdryer on the colder setting and then hold the chill button so it's not too warm on your client's face. But this is just my friend Liv. So I've just placed another layer of PVA glue once the layer beneath was dry, and then placed another sheet of toilet paper and then more PVA glue. Make sure there's an even layer all over the surface of the toilet paper because you don't want any bits to dry. You want it all to be really pressed in, and then I'm going back in with my hairdryer. Using a hairdryer is completely optional, it just speeds up the process. Now add in another layer of PVA glue with another layer of toilet paper on top. How thick you layer this is totally up to you. For deeper cuts you will need to build up the layers more to make sure there's enough depth within the cut. So the process is PVA glue, tissue, PVA glue, dry, and then repeat. Once you're happy with the layers of your tissue, you can then go in with tweezers and start plucking from the centre outwards. This does not hurt your client, or if you're doing it on yourself, it's just simply like peeling it off. So you just want to flick outwards, and then you can use your fingers to just pull at them a little bit if you would like. This step is not necessary, it's just I found the inside of the wound type thing were a bit wet, so I wanted to dry those. Now to start making this look a bit more real, so I'm taking the EX1 invisiware foundation in the shade 3.5. I'm just going over this with a sponge and then buffing it in with a brush to make the wound look a bit more skin-like. I'm now taking some of the Coty A-Spun powder and just setting the foundation in place so it doesn't move around. And then going in with some tweezers and just plucking at the edges because, let's be honest, what cut is just perfectly round. Now to add some dimension, I'm taking my Ingot 66 blush and using this as the type of red blood colour and just buffing this inside the wound and around the wound. And to do this I used my Morphe E27 brush. You don't need to be specific at all where you place this shadow because, let's be honest, bruising and blood isn't very, in place. Just buff it everywhere. Around the wound, in the wound, between stuff within the wound, just everywhere. Now to add some bruising, I'm taking this pressed eyeshadow from Sugar Pill called 2am and just basically buffing in the same places I used the pink shade. To add some more dimension to the wound, I use Corrupt from Makeup Geek and focus this within like the flap type situation and dotted this as well around the wound to add more of a purpley dirt look. Then to add a purpley tinge, I'm using this Ingot blush in the shade 124 and just using this again in the same places as all the other shades. After focusing on the wound, I've now decided to extend out away from the wound. So I've added some bruising around the lip and around the nose. And then I soon bring it up underneath the eyes, as you've seen here, to make it look like a kind of black eye effect. Now it's time for the fun stuff, and I'm using fake blood. This is just a blood spray that I got from B&M. I'm just spraying this inside the wound and then buffing it out with a brush. And then I decided to dot some around the wound and then use my finger to just dab it out a little bit so it doesn't look too placed, if you get me. I want this look to look messy. So I found it best to get your client to like tilt their head back a little bit because this blood does run. So I didn't want it to go all over it. Once you've added all the blood you desire, this will be the final look. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks for watching.